Hi, welcome to part 2 of putting the 350 Camaro engine back together. Just a little dirt today, and you can see I'm in Corey's garage. I thought it was a good place to put dirt all over the floor because he'll get Casey to come and clean the floor up, so good job for him. But today, last time when I was working on it, that's why I had to cut the video short, was I had the wrong bearing, but we'll go from the start now. My Camaro, back in the springtime, or fall time, sorry, the oil pressure just about dropped to nothing, so I knew there was something wrong with it. So we had a good 350 laying around, but I wasn't too sure what the crank was like. So I happened to look on Kijiji, and they had it's kind of a shop, engine shop, had reground cranks and plus bearings and rod bearings for all this for $200. I thought, well, that's not bad because I paid over $200 just to get the crankshaft ground in my 318 Dodge engine. I thought, oh, this is easy. I'll just buy this and the bearings. And well, when I did the mains, they were perfect. When I started doing the rods, it wasn't perfect. First of all, this was supposed to be all 10 under and 10 under main and 10 under rod. This ended up being 20 under and this is 30 under. So you got to be careful when it comes down to this Kijiji, Craigslist, Facebook, Marketplace, wherever you buy these days, but some things are just not right the way they list it. So I don't know if this was an error fault or they just mixed up, but in my case I don't care. I just wanted the right bearing, put it. I'm not going drag racing. This is just my putt mobile I drive around for spring, summer, and fall, and once winter comes it goes away. So I just want a good reliable engine if I want to go to here, do 300 miles and 300 miles back, or 500 or 1,000, whatever. I just don't want to break down. So okay. So enough rambling on about you got to watch out when you do this stuff to make sure you got the right bearings and everything. I did plastic gauge these. That's what they look like. There's a little piece of plastic in there. You squish it, and then you read it up, and it tells you what your specs is. One side will be millimeter, the other side is within thousandths of inch. So I'm all within spec. That's just something you gotta be careful when you do a bottom end, because you want everything to its spec. Because if you have it too tight, you're gonna rip a bearing out, and if you have it too loose, it's just gonna hammer. And I'm all good now. So that's one thing you gotta look out. And another thing you gotta look out, make sure in this Chevy, okay, all the numbers face out towards you. That's another thing you gotta look out. So I've done all the odd side. This is 1, 3, 5, 7. Now I'm gonna go to the even side. That way I didn't have to sit there and tilt the block back and forth. Okay, you can see that side done, and I'll flip it and do that side. That'll be the evening side. And for anybody that was worried about the camshaft, the camshaft I have in here is an old crane cam back from the 80s or the 90s with new old stock lifters too, old crane cam. We've had it sitting here for years, never used, so I don't have to worry about this new camshaft failing thing, blah blah blah. So I'm pretty happy with what I have. I can't get over there, but it's over there. But we've had it sitting here for over 20 some years, so that's what I'm using for the camshaft. Yeah, and someone's done a little bit of work because the cam bearings are actually very good shape in this. So, and it's, like I say, very odd that it's just a standard bore. It's never been bored over. Maybe some Corvette engine, I couldn't care less. But But the weird part is, I'm still rambling on. Everybody, I have nothing against Chevy. It's just, there's lots of Chevys out there. So I figured I'll go with Dodge or Ford. But when I needed the 30 thou rod bearings, oh, I'll go to Piston Ring. I'll go to town. They don't even sell bearings anymore. Jesus Christ, this is a small block Chevy. Everybody's supposed to sell bearings for these things, but that's just how it's changing. So, good old Rock Auto helped again. But, I guess what I'll do is I'll flip the engine over and I'll show you guys how I put one piston in, and then you guys got it from there. So, and then hopefully after that, we'll put the, under here, the new oil pickup and the oil pump. And gasket, button that up. And for anybody who wants to know the heads, best heads I have around here that are free. I gotta take them apart and clean them up. They do have new valves. They've been gone through years and years ago. These are what, 202 versus 160, I believe. So I figured they'd be good enough for what I'm doing. I think the casting with 820. They're good, fairly good heads. So that's the head I'm going to put on it. So I'm hoping to, I don't know, make a little bit of power. Like I said, I'm not too worried about power and that thing. I just want a car to drive. I like driving my old cars. So, alright, enough rambling on. I'll flip this over and we'll show you how I knock a piston in the hole. When you're cleaning the pistons and all that stuff, like I'm just using brake clean, whatever solvent to clean this, because you want it clean. When you do your final clean, use paper towel, or something like this. Do not use shop towel. This is a clean shop towel, by the way. It doesn't look clean, but it is very clean. But another thing, when you clean and put your bearing in, do not have oil on here. That's another no-no too. I'll show you in a minute. A little bit of oil on your bolts here, easier for torquing. So I've already cleaned this out. I usually use my detergent to clean all the cylinders out. So I'll put this in here. I don't want to put it in dry, so I just take a little bit of oil, wipe the cylinder good in oil, put some oil in. This guy is for when you put the piston in. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Then, okay, now the oil. Make sure my piston pin gets all oiled. Oil's cheap. Oil is your friend. Just slab everything. Just like that. And make sure your compression rings are 180 degrees from each other. Yeah, one's here, the other one's right there. Alright, an arrow. In this case, all the arrows go to the front of the block. Okay, I'm going to use my razor white hand. Okay, now the ring compressor, I'll pull this up a bit. Slide it over. And make sure everything's good in there. Oh, I know one thing I forgot to do. That's okay. But make sure your hands are clean. You don't want... I've already cleaned the bearing shell. Just wait, I'll put the bearing shell in first. I'll clean it again just to be on the safe side. I'll just go. This is what I'm talking about right here. Don't want oil there. I've already cleaned my new bearing shells, so put my new bearing, because there's a tang there. That lines up. Push it in. Oh. There. Okay. That's all back in. Put a little bit of oil on the bearing. I'm not too worried, I got oil on the crankshaft too, so make sure the arrow's pointing to the front of the block. And in this case, some people like to put a little rubber piece on the bolt of the conrod so it doesn't hit into the crankshaft. I just use my fingers. I've been doing it for years. I know what I'm doing. Okay. And just lightly tap. Just tap away. There you go. That one's in. Get that out of the way. Now, well, I put my finger down here so I don't hit the crank. Make sure your bearing's still in there, it's never fell out. Yeah, still good. You can hear that bottomed out. Safe side, I'll give my bearing shell a little squirt. Clean towel. Don't want no oil in there. And then here's my new bearing. I've already cleaned it because there's your tang. You want to match your tang up. There we go. And then make sure the number, in this case all the numbers face towards you. Oh, put a little bit of oil on it too. I got oil on the crank, I'm not too worried, but yeah. Got it the right way. I've got oil, a little bit of oil on the thread, so on the bolt, so if you never want a dry torque reading. Someday then it'll come on. I think that, oh, there we go. Take that off. I've already set my torque gun. I think this is what, 35 pounds? 35 to 40 pounds. I picked 36 pounds, so. And torquer. You gotta hold the other thing. There's one click. Two clicks. There you go. I can't find the tool for moving the crank, but you should still be able to move the crank around and turn things around, so. Like that, everything's fine. I got 3 more cylinders to go and bottom end done. But I'm not going to show you the other 3. It's the same thing. So once I finish that, I'll bring you guys back again. Well, I got them all in. I'm happy with it. Turned over nice. It'd be nice if I could find that crankshaft tool that you could spin it around, but Ron and I looked and we couldn't find it. So this will have to work. But yeah, you can spin over nicely, like you're supposed to. I'm going to call that a big success. So now, I guess what I'll do is I'll clean up the rest here, clean the top a little bit, flip it around, and I guess put the oil pump on it. Yeah. And to do the bottom end, I spent, well, $200 and then bearing, and I had to buy another set of bearings, so I'm about $230 now. and plus frustration because things didn't fit, so, but whatever, it seems to be doing good now, so it's just something I guess you should take into consideration when you buy stuff on the old internet, that things may not be the same size or things got mixed up, but I'm not going to call anybody's fault on that one, so. Alright, I'm going to flip this around and clean the bottom end and see if we can put the oil pan on. Well, it's been a couple of days. I went through the head, took them all apart, cleaned them, redressed them, valved everything, put it back together. And now I got Chris torquing them. Doing a heck of a good job here. Since he's a Chevy man now. He can't wait to get a Chevy now.
That's why I'm torquing them backwards.
And I got my valve soaking in oil. I mean, not my valve, my lifters. And the lifters are crane cam, but these are way back from the 80s, early 90s. So they're good lifters. So we've been robbing all the bolts off the 307 block here and putting them onto that block. Since I'm doing a real El Cheapo job here. And then I guess after this we'll throw the camshaft in. And I'm not going to get it running today. I was hoping to, but that's not going to happen. I don't have all the parts here. So, if I know Christopher would like to hear it run. He can't wait to have a ride.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go clean up whatever I gotta do. And we'll get on to it. Yeah, now we're installing the camshaft. Christopher's putting all the special lubrication to put on your lobes.
Melon.
I had luck with it. That also, I like that paste stuff you get in the camshaft I got from Clay Smith.
Yeah, I think so.
That was nice. That's what we put in my Mustang. Which, too wild of a camshaft. And this is, again, this is an old camshaft from the 80s and early 90s, so I believe it's a little under a 3/4 race cam, or
come on. Go in. There we go.
yeah, to break the suction.
Yeah.
Take your time. That way you're not nicking all the joints.
Yeah.
And this way we're not getting oil all over ourselves and can kind of control it. And I will tell anyone, if you're gonna build an engine and if you plan not to start it for 6 months, you're wasting your time putting that stuff on. It's just gonna all come off, so
It'll drip off and yeah.
Yeah, you want to do this, you know, within at least a week or so. Or I was hoping to have the stupid car out this weekend, but that's not going to happen. My clutch hasn't showed up yet, so. But you guys got the drift what we're doing here. He's doing a hell of a good job. You know how much he loves Chevys.
Well, we've got half the push rods in. I'm just, I know we should probably put all the push rods in and then just go back and forth, but you don't need to. Basically, with these, you just adjust them so there's no lash. Basically, you wiggle it up and your push rod up and down and tighten it until there's no lash. And then when you do get no lash, you go a quarter turn or a half a turn. go. Yeah. Wiggle side to side, nothing up, so half a turn, done. And that one's at top dead center, so I can, or not top dead center, but all the way compression, so I can do the intake and exhaust at the same time, and then just keep turning it over. Get this one down, so all the valves are closed. Just those, and on and on and on and on and on. You can do it if you had both sides. You go here, then number 8, then go by the firing order, so you don't have to keep rotating. But there's enough lube on here, so it's not gonna. We got plenty of lube on this thing, so.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure other people have their opinions, but I don't care.
The way we're doing it.
My opinion is what matters here.
Alright. Well, Christopher did a good job. He, like he said, he finished putting all the lifters, the push rods, all torqued down, what they're supposed to be. All I gotta do is get the timing chain and a bolt, which I thought was very unusual for that crankshaft. Did not even have threads in here. Next up, what holds your harmonic balancer on. Sure, it's on here half a thou tight, but I'm not going to pull the timing chain cover off of the 307 because that's a 68 to a 72 style, and the harmonic balancer I'm getting is off a 79 350. That will be totally different timing systems on it, and it's just confusing. So I got another timing chain cover and the harmonic balancer. That's all the same years, so it makes it easy for timing. Yeah, and one more thing I'll get into. A lot of people say it's cheap quality lifters. I'm not going to get in a whole pile of argument with it, but a lifter, one of the problems is with these new lifters, the manufacturer does not know how to grind these things properly. They're actually supposed to be a crown on here, and you want to find your center, and it should be roughly 2,000 higher, because when this is in your engine, this should be spinning with the push rod. You know, it just doesn't stay in one spot and goes up and down. This thing actually spins while it's going up and down, and it spins off the lobe off the camshaft. And if it doesn't, then that's when you get too much friction there, and then it grinds away. This is hardened. I can tell you this is hardened. I don't want to run a file. I can take this to a hardened tester, but I'm not going to do it to this one. I'll do it to another one if you guys want. But so, how the easy way to test if you have a good lifter is do yourself a roughly 90 degrees everywhere. Put a start. Okay, I'll start. Okay, you can see I'm roughly 0 right there. Now move up here. I will move over to. Well, it's hard to do this one hand, but okay. I'll do it this way. You guys can see everything. There's 0. See, center is roughly 2,000, and I go back to the other side. 0. I'll come back to the center. 2,000. I'll come straight forward. 0. Come back forward. 0. Well, not close enough. You got 0 right there. This lifter, there's nothing wrong with it. This is an older lifter, by the way, so I know there's nothing wrong with it. But that is one major problem. If this does not have a crown to it, yeah, it's going to wipe your camshaft out. I've had other people do some researching, and it comes down to two things. They don't know how to put a profile on here, or they do not know how to grind the camshaft right, and they put a little flat spot in it, and then that makes too much contact and it wears it away. So that's just one little easy thing. It's easy to tell. Like if you put it straight flush here, there's no moving side to side, nothing. You put it this way, it rocks around. So you know you have a little bit of a profile on it. So, but I thought I'd let you guys know about the lifter thing, but who knows, maybe there is some garbage lifters made out there, but that one big thing is these lifters have to have a profile on them. So, and I did check all these, they all have profiles, there was nothing. These lifters were all from the 80s and early 90s, so there's no problem with them. So this guy, I'm just gonna soak it up and then punk in there and tighten that guy up, button that up, get that. I gotta go to junkyard, grab that. And that's the Holly intake I'm gonna run. Just because I'm doing this El Cheapo. Next time you see this block, I think it should be in the engine. Yeah, I'm gonna prime. I'll prime the, I have a priming tool when I get the intake on to drive the pump, fill it up with oil, and then I can watch the oil go through the system here. Might maybe show you guys a clip of that when I do that, but yeah, so next time this engine should be going in. I got my new clutch here today. Zoom! Got everything. New floor bearing, blah blah blah. Pilot bearing. So, but today I'm gonna go grab all the stuff I needed for this, and yeah, so it's not gonna happen today putting the engine back in there in the car, but it will be coming very soon. And yeah, I guess I will leave this video as this, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.